Crystal's gonna number.
Yep. That'll be.
Karen Garcia.
Hi, Karen.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
We have a quorum. And we will, in the name of keeping meetings, within time boundaries, we will start. So we will call the meeting to order at 8:31 a.m. and welcome everyone. In the consideration of others in the business conducted here today, please silence your phones and any other devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. This meeting is being broadcast on Zoom. If you're interested in speaking during the public comment period, please let the presiding officer know when the public comment opens. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here this morning. We will do a roll call at the moment. We are not all present, and we're just missing Kristen. All right, and we will now do the Pledge of Allegiance. Kathy, would you be willing to lead us?
Sure.
Betty? Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Does anyone wish to reorder or add to the agenda? Okay. All right, we will open the public comment period. We're going to invite members of the public to address the board. Speakers limited to 3 minutes, speaking once, both on and off agenda items. If you're in attendance, please let me know. When you're recognized, speakers will stand up, state your name, subject matter you wish to discuss, and then we will inquire, is there anyone on Zoom? Nope, okay. And anything by email? Nope, okay. This is you. Yes, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Karen Garcia, and I'm with Glendora Historical Society.
Oh, yes.
But I'm here as a member of the Glendora Community Coordinating Council, and my role there now is the membership committee, our membership chair, and I would like to share with you an invite to become a member if you're not already. The Glendora Community Coordinating Council meets monthly, and basically it's an opportunity to share information about your business, or about what, things that you have upcoming. There's a coordinating calendar that if you have events that you wanted to share, we can get it on the calendar. And but it's a great opportunity to network with other local businesses, as well as city officials and other city representatives. So I did bring with me the flyer that to take with you, and there's an opportunity here to enroll, to apply for a membership. It's for an individual, it's $25, and for a corporation or a business membership, it's $50 annually. So we're actually well into our first year, but we will run through June. So there's still opportunities to get involved and get to know some of the other business owners and community members. So if I could, leave these with you. And please encourage to come and join in. It's a great meet. We meet at the Continental and we have a great lunch. So, so not only do you get to network with others, but you get to have a good lunch as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Public comment? Okay, we will close public comments and invite reports from each board member, including Crystal. All right, Kathy, anything?
Cover the board reports and stuff and
Yeah,
committee reports, so.
Yep.
No.
yeah.
No.
No committee, this is just your personal board member report. I would just say the holiday stroll was super, super fun. And I'm so glad that I've never gotten up on stage before with everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's the first time that I did that. And that was a little bit terrifying, but you all made it very fun. And then I did not realize that we were going to get to take pictures with Santa either. I had my kids stashed away at the front of the stage, and I was like, I had no idea that that was going to happen. So there we were taking pictures with Santa, and my kids were like, you know, waiting for me something.
Waiting in line.
But that was super fun. So thank you all for that. Yeah, okay. All right, special, moving on to, report from Director Josie.
Let's see. Okay, from the chamber side, we have a couple things coming up. Rest of the month, we have our networking lunch at the country club on the 11th. Also, the Christmas parade is on the 13th at 9 a.m. starts, at Bennett. Just over 100 entries, so it'll be a nice festive parade. Takes about an hour to get everyone started. So that starts at 9. And then also during Santa in the Village, have a little, Santa in the plaza there on the 13th, have an hour of entertainment from the Citrus College Wind Ensemble. So while everyone's waiting for Santa, there'll be a nice wind ensemble there playing for some entertainment. And then also going along with the city Shop Local program with Opal Rewards, we have our Shop Local contest, which when you're shopping in town, every $50 you spend, you can enter to win prizes that we've been collecting from different businesses. So you can enter right at that scan there or go to shopglendora.org and to enter. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff getting ready for next year, but I just wanted to share that.
Is that flyer on the website?
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm like, why don't we get one? But I guess we haven't do one. I never got one. I'm like, oh, it's a cute flyer.
It's just a square.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's it.
Okay. And then now we'll move on to special items, city updates.
Good morning. Just to piggyback off of what Joe said, we are continuing our open rewards program. And as you guys are small businesses, we want to support all your local small businesses here too. So the holidays are coming, so shop local, shop small, use open rewards app, get rewards. And then also too, I wanted to point out, we do have a partnership. I'm sure you guys already know, but we do have a partnership with the Small Business Development Center. So if you or anyone you know that's a small business owner that needs consulting, one-on-one consulting with the Small Business Development Center, they are there to help. Also too, the Santa in the Village, the lights the lights will turn on at 4:30. So you guys are good to go for is it the 6th, 13th, and 20th? And then also the examiner boxes, I know,
Yes.
we walked around and we looked at how dirty the examiner boxes are. We had Mark from the examiner, he came out, he completely scrubbed them clean. At this time, he's not able to paint them, but he did scrub them clean.
Okay.
And
And he's, well, we can talk about this during presentation as well. Okay, cool.
Couple of updates on our businesses. Mama Canella's continues to make progress with getting to a business opening. While they've put posters up saying that they will open in January, most likely it's going to be February because the business owner, Javier, needs more time to train staff. So first quarter of next year is his target goal for opening Mama Canella's. And then Lucabella and Village Eatery continue to be on the market for sale as a business. Those are the 3 updates I have.
Did we also mention that the building over here with Casey's Barbershop in it is up for sale, or is that not official yet?
That's continuing to be for sale.
Okay.
But no official interest or buyers.
Will we be notified if there's any more parklets being given out as small businesses downtown to like discuss, or is that just not a thing?
There's already one scheduled for Mama Canella's right now.
yes.
Correct.
But you mean? future
Like for
ones,
parking
something?
wise or any other? Nothing.
Would you like a advance notice on when they're coming in or just
Yeah, so we can let our,
acknowledgement?
yeah, at least know that they're not gonna be able to park out front any longer.
Okay.
When Mama Canella, when we're ready to install it, we'll go around to a couple of the affected businesses and let them know that it's going to be installed.
Okay.
And then we'll always keep you guys updated when a new parklet, if a new parklet ever comes in.
Okay. Moving on to event and communications coordinator update. Is Megan on?
Neither of them are on.
Neither of them are on. Okay. Well,
I can go over the event stuff during the event.
moving on to consent calendar. We would like to affirm minutes from November 6th. Regular meeting. Can I get a motion to affirm the minutes from November 6th, which are in the packet?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
Can I second it?
All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, then moving on to bid expenditures for fiscal year 25-26 through November 30th, 2025. These are
Yes, they're together.
okay. New business. We are going to review the unexpired open board position for office number 2, which expires June 30th of 2027. Joe Cena, report.
But just recap from when we presented this last month, had two applicants at that time. And then you all asked to go out and open the application because that officially opened it. Did that this last year, and we have 2 applicants, and they're both here today. Kate from Ice Cream Shop and Lori from Pearsall. To 51, you can ask questions, interview, that kind of stuff, and then you can appoint that position, which then after this, on Tuesday, it'll go to council for kind of ratification, which that's where we're waiting for that to add that name so it can go in the report for them, and then the new board member will be seated in January. Yeah. So I turn it back to you to discuss, interview, and that kind of fun stuff.
Okay, so before we do this, and John and I were talking about this, beforehand. The way that this is going to procedurally, the way that this will work, is that Kitty and Lori will get up and we will interview them, ask whatever questions we want to ask. And then from that point, it is actually fairly, well, it's formal, but there's no like secret ballot. We're not going to ask you to leave the room. It's really just a motion, a second, and then because there's only 4 of us, if there's a motion and a second, one more I will appoint them. Okay. So just to be clear about the procedure. Now, if someone motions and there is no second, you know, then someone else would have to motion for the other candidate. And that could potentially be, you know, we were talking about this, it could be awkward because it's not secret ballot and everyone is here. So just saying that in advance, we have not done this before in this format. The last time we appointed a board member, we had interviews and then we took those board members and put them to the entire membership. And that's what happens when there's an actual open position because a term is expired. When it's unexpired and someone leaves, it's really just a vote amongst the 4 of us. So with that said, let's just, whatever information you want or want to discuss, I think the actual discussion of it happens once the motion has been made. But we also could discuss it before a motion is made.
Yeah,
So
their applications are in your packet.
yeah,
And
okay.
just kind of discussion talk. Not kind of, it doesn't have to be formal stand before you, all that kind of stuff, just a discussion and talk.
Okay. Well, we want to thank both of you for applying. That's a really big deal that you would want to be a part of this. So maybe we'll start with Lori and just talk a little bit about why you want to be a part of this committee. What do you understand about what this committee does? And what do you feel like you'll bring to it?
Okay, first of all, I just want to excuse it. I'm getting over a cold, and so I'm just a little under the weather, but I'm Lori. I've been in business for 7 years. I've been actively a part of the community, born and raised here in Glendora. So I have been actively a part with my own family through all the community events. I brought my kids here. Now they're 18, 21, or actually 22, and I still have a 13-year-old. So just seeing all of the events take place, I've been actively a part of it already through my business. And I'm just seeing the changes, and I'm friends with a lot of the people, the business owners, everybody. We talk a lot, we all know our wants, our needs, and I have a little bit more time, and so I am more involved. So being more involved, that's why I have taken this opportunity to see if I can be a part of the ins of the whole committee and the whole everything that goes on the insides too. Because again, I'm outside talking to everybody all the time. Everybody comes into the store. We talk about what our wants and our traditions and all of the things that we love about downtown Glendora. And I'm also always a part of it, inside and out, family, business, everything. So I just have a lot of heart for things that are downtown Glendora. So again, I was kind of asked to go for this position because I do partake in a lot of it and I know a lot. And so this year I'm ready to be a part of it and be helpful in other ways.
Any questions for Lori?
As far as specific special interests, there are different subcommittees currently for events, for marketing, beautification, and also budget, which is a little bit more procedural. Based on any independent expertise and interest, where would your head be leaning and where could we apply your talents best?
Well, both the events and social media I'm interested in, only because I see a lack of things that need to be changed. So I'm already, talking to a lot of you guys and Joe and stuff about things and ideas that I have. So again, social media, we've all kind of seen a need for some of the things to show up better, and I would like to have, help in some way bring information, better information to the community and just all of that stuff, because again, social media is like the way of people are finding everything nowadays. Although I am an 80s girl and I'm not super techie, I have a lot of people helping me now to get in the game. But again, I see a lot of lack in the communication of the community, knowing all of the events that went downtown Glendora. And because I am so invested, I want to get that information out more. And also the social events. I have an opinion on all of them, only because, again, I've been going to them for 18 years with my kids, along with being a Glendora resident. So I have a lot of opinions because I've seen the changes, I've seen the growth, I've seen the difference. I've seen what works, I have seen what doesn't work, and I just have a lot of input. If I could, I'd like to be a part of telling people what works. So that's it.
I have a couple of questions as well. So you have been very vocal about what's been lacking. But I'd like to ask a little bit more about what specifically you would want to do to change some of those things. As a follow-up question, I'd also like to ask, we've been discussing for years now about our events and about trying to bring more activities and have the businesses kind of come out more in our events, like Wine Walk, Holiday Stroll. We had tried to put together a Christmas market for the Holiday Stroll, and I'm curious how you feel about the tension between sort of having markets, having vendors for events like that, versus so like the businesses, and whether or not that is an infringement upon the business's ability to sort of sell and be promoted, versus outside vendors and filling the events.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So first question, what do you see that is actually lacking? What do you want to do about that?
So
yeah.
I can answer that. Just Glendora is valued in tradition, a lot of tradition, and all the families look forward to the tradition. So the events that are like taking place that have been traditional are very important to the families here. So when you change it, or, when something works, it's fine, but when you change it, and it just gets a little bit messy. So my only thing that I have opinion-wise on that is that as long as everything is organized, completely from start to finish, I think it's fine. But when you start adding things and they're not completely planned out very well, they're not going to work because they're just not organized well. And along with all of the other vendors and people that you want to bring in, I'm down. I am totally all for it as a business owner, as long as it's organized and it's tidy, it's clean. It's like people that actually have, their business is completely organized also, so that it's not just, last minute or whoever wants to do it. I just want organization and some sort of like food is needed. I'm a big advocate for more food vendors, and definitely farmers market. I would love a farmers market, honey, yogurt, all of that good stuff. It's just when it gets sloppy and you throw things together that I'm opposed to. And then also with social media, you asked about that too.
Yeah.
Social media is kind of all over the place on the Glendora Village, and as a business owner, I look for Glendora Village because the title says Glendora Village in it. And because it says Glendora Village in it, I was a big advocate of Glendora Village Instagram, because to me, that was like the main thing. So I actually would look myself and tell other people to go onto Glendora Village. And the information was not there. And then I myself was struggling to find the times, the dates, everything. And I wanted to be correct in telling my audience and telling my my customers, and there's no form of a solid information. It's kind of scattered, it's kind of all over the place, and it's been like that for a while. So I'd like to see a difference in that for sure.
Just a quick question. How did your booth do for the Christmas stroll, your outside booth?
I mean, it was cute. It was, I mean, we didn't do good. I mean, there was no like sales out of it. We had a really fun coupon spin going on that I think drove a lot of people to the store. I gave out a lot of coupons and free stuff, but again, that's part of kind of the stroll is normally people are used to getting something for free, and that's fine. But now, like if the way I did it, it actually worked out for me too, you know. So when it works out for the business and the, you know, the people.
So was it worth it for you, or would you do something?
I think it could have been more people and more like that side of the street kind of worked out. It was cute. If we had a bunch of stuff going on, but again, like the things that I want to see are like the organic, like stores that aren't already on downtown Glendora Avenue. And there are plenty of them, and we can bring those, and that would bring, you know, a want for more.
You want to see those?
I want to see the organic type of vendors. You know, again, like the markets where they have the fresh fruit, and they have the fresh yogurt, and they have the fresh food, and they have makers out there when you kind of go to a street fair. That's the feel of like Claremont and of all the things like that. So I am for all of that for sure.
So we had one of those planned for the holiday stroll.
You did.
Yes.
What
And
happened?
then, well, it was, I guess, in the committee meeting, there were a couple of people that came and said that they didn't want that.
It would.
Is that
It
correct?
just kind of, it didn't happen, it just blew up and didn't happen. So then we modified it and just kept the village merchants in the street, you know. It didn't happen.
It's just, I was part of that also. And so, you know, it was about like getting more, food vendors and more of the, no, when I went to the meeting, there was nobody participating except for like, outside, like businesses like our own, like that sell clothes or sell other things like that. That's what I was hearing. You know, so again, like 3 clothing stores on the street, we don't need somebody selling more clothes or something like that. So again, it was just, that's what I heard when we were doing that. So I just, and there wasn't a lot of people volunteer or wanting to do that. That's what my understanding was.
Okay. Any other questions? And are you willing to, if you don't become an actual member, board member, are you willing to come and participate in committee meetings and other things?
Oh yeah, I've been coming to the majority of the events. I think I missed one last couple of months, but yeah, for sure.
Wonderful. All right. Okay, Kate. Hi. All right. Well, can you tell us a little bit about why you want to be a part of the actual board, and what you feel that you can bring to this position, and some of the things that you're seeing that are needs, and how you might be able to fill them.
Yeah. So I think what sparked my interest initially was like I know that Kathy's always like, get them off, and it was really hard in the beginning because I homeschooled, now I'm not homeschooling, so it's opened up some time for me to like run my business and participate in this way, and so, that's number one, I'm excited about that. But I think it was like the end of the summer, Joe and I met with the city, and, I was just talking about some ideas that I had, and, just asking a lot of questions like, how does this work? What can we do? What can't we do? As far as like zoning and like building the businesses in the village and things like that, and really being empowered to like get involved. There are things you can do to like truly elicit change. And so, since then, I've been really interested in wanting to start coming to the meetings, and so when a board position opened up, I wanted to apply. Some of the things that we had talked about in that meeting were like zoning issues, really having the bid follow through and come up with ideas to really build the businesses in the village in a way that the bid sees fit. And one of the ideas that I ran by them that they were open to was like the bid coming up with a list of businesses that we think will enhance the village, that we think will work together to make the village even better. Not another one of this, another one of that. Like, what are the businesses that we could actually, that we want to bring in? And then how can we partner with the city or the building owners to give them some type of incentive to bring that type of business in? So like really partnering with the city, partnering with the building owners, like really getting involved in a way that's like eliciting change to build the village into something even bigger and better than what we have. I know we have like a beautification committee and social media committee. And I'm interested in all of that too, but I really think that like, for example, really rezoning the first level of the village so that way we don't have any more office buildings, that it's pedestrian focused, that it's it's either a service, a store for people to purchase from, it's not an office building. That's gonna make the walkability of the village better. It's gonna bring more people in, especially having like the metro and stuff. It could be a stopping point that it's like not store, and then you have to walk for a block and a half and then another store. Like if there's better walkability, like you said, like in other cities like Claremont, Monrovia, Pasadena, like improving the walkability of the village is going to make all of our businesses better. I also think that like each type of business has a different, gets saturated at a different level. We may need more restaurants, but do we need a new toy store? No, that's not going to like benefit the business owner that we already have doing that. But I could see how like having another coffee shop probably like really enhances both those coffee shops, but do we need a third one? So the bid should be like, these are the business specifically that we're looking for, and like being more intentional with what we're doing, like you said, like not just willy-nilly, but like really being intentional with what we're doing on Glendora Ave, to enhance all of our businesses, to work together. And I don't know where I fit into that, but I just feel really passionate that on some level, whether I'm a board member or, I'm not, and I can come to the meetings and be helpful and in any way that I can, I'm still interested in that.
Same question to you. I know you're showing a really high level passion for shaping the downtown area. As far as some of the day-to-day that we encounter and what we're working on, it aligns with events, marketing, social media, beautification. Do you have any particular skill sets that would align really well, or any particular interests that would align really well within those categories? And so could you describe it for us?
Yeah, so I guess social media, one, I think we all see like gaps in social media that can be filled in the last meeting that I was at. I know, like, just observing the way things function, I think it's hard on both ends. Like the businesses want something from the social media that we're doing with the village, but then also the person who's managing that, there's like a break in communication. I think that maybe if there was like a policy in place or something in place, like a procedure on how we get visibility with the Glendora Village social media, like if you have an event coming up, then email her or whatever, 3 days in advance, so she can put it on the calendar. I'm sure there's like a calendar, like we had talked about, like, if there's a calendar and you can see all the content that's going out for the month, if you know that something's coming up next month and you have assets for that, then you should send her the assets, send her the date, get it on the calendar. There should be someone approving the calendar. And then you have like a paper trail of like, I put this on the calendar, this was the date that it was supposed to be submitted by to get that on the calendar, and it's on the social media calendar. So there's like more organization to it, like you said, not just willy-nilly, like 2 days before it happens, you want her to post this right now. Well, she's not a full-time employee that's just like working for our bid, you know? So I think that if we have more structure and organization of how we're getting our quality content on the calendar and visible through the Glendora Village, then we're gonna get what we want, and it's in a more organized way. So that's what I think, like, right off the bat, off the top of my head, if I'm thinking just like something that we can improve right away, that would be one for social media. And then for, the events, I kind of agree with Lori with a lot of things. Like, I do think that we need, in some of those events, food vendors, activity vendors, things like that. I found what was difficult with the holiday stroll with, being a sponsor for one of the events was it was like, be a sponsor for the event and we're gonna give you the supplies you need, but you need to supply the workers to like do the event, do the activity. Where like during those events, like for me, I'm already strapped. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's like a line to Kathy's place for ice cream. Like I don't have any employees to spare to like put out to do that. So I think like a sponsorship for those types of activities are great, and I think that we should be doing that, whether it's like face painting or gingerbread houses, but it has to be like where we don't have to supply the employees to do that. And I think that's maybe, I don't know if you guys thought any sponsors for those types of activities, but I think maybe that's why there wasn't so much, because we need our staff for those events because it's so busy. And I think people want to walk around. They want to walk around. The restaurants are packed and people do want to walk around and get food that they're pushing their babies in the stroller, that they could have like finger foods and easy foods to eat, like how Southland had that like s'mores little bar. Like that was such a great idea. And that same concept could go to food vendors that are doing that around as well.
So you're okay with bringing outside vendors in for special?
Yeah, I think as long as it makes sense, like I said, like if I use Kathy's business as an example, because I think like when we have specialty businesses, I think that there's like a line of where you're hurting that business or you're making everything better for everybody who's at the event. And I think that we have to, as business owners, like that should be the #1 thing we're thinking about is like, one, we need to enhance our businesses and make these events successful so that the businesses are actually making money and creating something for the city and for the community that they want to come to, and that continues to be special and full of tradition and still feels like that tradition. We have to find that balance. We can't have like 4 vendors along the streets that are selling toys that are going to be cheaper than Kathy's, because then nobody's going to go into Kathy's store and buy that cute little light up toy that the kid could walk around with. We have to find like some type of balance. But I know that I've heard from other businesses in the village that like own restaurants and things that like having other food vendors like enhances their business because it takes the load off of them. And then when people are walking around, maybe they didn't get a chance to go to Ramon's, but they're like, on Tuesday, we're gonna go to Ramon's. Like, it's busy right now, so we're gonna get like a street vendor, but we're coming back for them. You know, because not everybody that comes to the holiday stroll or the trick or treat or the wine walk is from Glendora. We're trying to get other people to come here. Yeah, so I think that vendors should be done, but like when I first started to be like completely transparent, they were bringing in like Kona ice, like 2 doors down from me, like that. To me, that feels like it's the same thing. It's like, I'm stuck here. The streets are blocked off. People can't drive to come to my business. They have to be part of the event to be part of the business. So there's a fine line between like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do think that we need vendors, we need food items that people can walk around with. I know that the Village Eatery tried to do something like that once and they didn't get any sales, so it was just like a lot of food that was, and you know, just because you're a restaurant doesn't mean, and you can speak to this, Callan, that you like have the capacity to like cook outside, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you could be cooking outside just because you own a restaurant. So I think it's good to have some food vendors, but maybe thinking and like planning ahead, like you said, being intentional of bringing like a different type of food that's not one of the restaurants.
Any other questions?
I think for both of you, I would just love to learn your perspective. We haven't gone over the holiday stroll recap, but there was one thing that stood out to me when I was preparing for the meeting. And it was an open question. Any other comments? The comment here is, although some would see these events as more successful the larger they get, in some ways these events are becoming too large and losing some of the community charm. Just like anything, too many people can start to ruin any tourist attraction or event, and more isn't necessarily better. And I'd just love to understand both of your perspectives on that particular comment, because it does align with the way that the bid is shaping its events, its strategy, and how we move forward. So we'd just love to hear your thoughts on it.
I agree that like, even when they were doing the speeches and everyone was on, like, it's so big and there's so many people. And so I think that if you don't get there early and you're in the back, obviously that's gonna shape how you experience the event, or if you don't see Santa come in, because normally doesn't he come in on a fire truck or something? This time he just like walked in, right?
No, he came in
Came in.
fire truck.
Okay, I didn't see the fire truck.
Sounds like we're up on the stage, so we
Yeah.
can see you on
There's
the-
too many people.
But, I think that in these types of events, we also have to think like, who's the event for? And when I was walking the event, the holiday stroll, what I was seeing was, little kids that were excited about the Christmas tree lot, that were excited about the s'mores, and a ton of middle schoolers that were there just to walk around and hang out with their friends. So who is the event for? Is it for adults? Is it for children? Is it for middle schoolers? Are we trying to make something for everybody? Or are we focusing on just like, you know, because every family is different. I see a lot of families that like parents are walking around together and then they let their kids go and like, I'll pick you up in 2 hours. So there's a lot of people, but I guess it just depends who you are and what is the holiday stroll for? Is it to just stroll around, talk to all the people that you know in Glendora and see what you can get for free? Like you said,
Yeah.
like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because some events you just stop along the way and see what you can get for free. And it was like, oh, that was really good. We got this, that, and the other. Or do we want like more carolers, more activities? I think that how the bid shapes the event is going to dictate that. Because right now it is like a free for all. It's like, what do you want to make of it? What do you want to make of it? Like, everyone that comes to the holiday stroll is like, it is what they make it, because there is not a lot of structure in the holiday stroll. It's just a stroll. So it is what every family or person wants it to be. We're not making it something specific, like it's for children. It's for doing Christmas activities. It's for shopping. It's for like, what is it for? It's not defined.
To be fair too, we had bounce houses and stuff that we had scheduled.
Yeah.
They canceled on us, so we would have had more
That's
activities
what I was
for the
looking
kids.
for.
Yeah, but I'm not, but to my point, it's
I
like,
know.
is it for the kids
Yeah.
or is it for the adults?
Well,
Or
we know
is
we
it
get
for
a
the
lot of
middle
kids, so
schoolers?
we wanted something for
Yeah.
the kids to do.
Yeah, and I knew that, like, I got the application to be a vendor and I thought that it was gonna be like the Nelson's parking lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
It was.
And then I had, a couple friends who own businesses, but they, in Glendora, but they're not part of the bid. And so when I saw that, I said to them, I said, it hasn't been open to the public, but I think it's gonna be open to like people outside the bid, if you guys wanna be a vendor, but then it never came to
Well, and I
pass,
think,
but they were interested in like being a vendor, if that makes a difference to anybody. Like, there is interest for people to do that kind of stuff.
Food,
but for that,
No, it was like,
for that, we would have to have all of the bid businesses open to bringing down Like, I'm always open for a whole bunch of restaurants coming in.
Yeah,
We're very excited about that.
yeah,
You know, bringing, everyone wants a food truck. That does not, even if it's a taco truck
yeah,
or Mexican food, it does not ruin my business. But
Yeah.
we all have to be open-minded
yeah,
and having every business, say if we brought in another ice cream place, we didn't put it next to yours,
yeah,
but we put it down at the end. Every big business has to be open for all of these ideas that, yes, there are a whole bunch of businesses that want to be involved in our stroll, in our events downtown Glendora. But if we have pushback from our big businesses,
Yeah.
that it's something similar, then we can't say that we want it all, but we have certain pushback for someone that might sell oils or that might sell something else, clothing, because all of that is bringing business to our businesses and making Glendora a more valuable place, not just a stepping stone to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So all of these events, like we do it to keep an open mind to those certain things, as yes, it is gonna be competition for us,
mhm,
but in the end, they might wanna come back and try my restaurant. They
Yeah.
might wanna come back, and just that might is gonna get them back downtown rather than having nothing.
Yeah.
Being like, well, we went to their stroll and it was, I'm gonna go to
Exactly.
Claremont. I'm gonna go, because the reason why those places work is that every business is ready to open their doors to any opportunity possible. And that's what I think is most important for us as a board, to really, like, we're trying to do everything, but if we don't have the same, we don't even have to have the same mindset, but open opportunity to bring in more people, and we're just like, no, it needs to only be bid members, it needs to then it's not gonna work.
right.
Yeah.
No,
So that's the hardest part, and I think where it's,
I agree,
We
and
run
Joe,
into
like,
most-
when I talked to Joe about like bringing in another dessert company, it was going and putting it at the other end
Yeah.
of Glendora Ave, so it was like,
Yeah.
makes sense.
So they can hit every,
And I agree.
It's a really good discussion to have. And it's especially important, because I think the important part about this body and about the committees and about all of that is that we are able to work together in a positive way to push things forward, and it's slow, and it's not, you know, we try things and then it doesn't work and people are upset about it or whatever it is, but we're constantly trying to improve on it. It just takes a long time. But yeah, the biggest part of this is just, you know, assessing where everybody stands and, like, you know, willingness to contribute to it. So I'll give Lori, you know, an opportunity to answer that question as well, and then I think we should probably move to vote.
I kind of got lost. What exactly was the question again? I'm
About
sorry.
keeping the events
Okay, big or small?
big or small, and but if we even have control of that.
Exactly. I have two viewpoints on it. I have a business owner viewpoint on it. I have a community member viewpoint on it. So again, I have both, and I'm open to change, by the way. I'm open to change either way. We do, again, Glendora is committed to tradition. And so again, we like the traditional stuff on top of adding a little bit more, because again, when you get here at 6 o'clock, you can't park. You can't find a way, you know, you can't, it's just getting a little bit so big that it's really hard to even get on the street. And then me being out and about at the stroll, it was very strange. There was big clusters of people in 3 different parts of downtown Glendora that you couldn't even, you had to like walk around. So again, same thing, if we can figure out a way, as if the board can figure out a way to distribute everything, like of course, the carnival, I was looking for that, because that is a distraction for all the young kids to rally around and to be around, and then the adults can still get through. Because the point of the stroll has always been for the businesses. That's one of our busiest nights of the year. We look forward to that, because again, that's one of our busiest nights of the year, but if you can't get through, if you have a bunch of kids in the middle of the street and, you know, stuff going on that's distracting the businesses, I have two points of view. I thought the point of the stroll was to stroll our stores and to give us business and for us to give a little back to the community too. But I'm losing that. I can't figure out what's going on. So if we, again, as a team, as Glendora Village, can figure out a way to make that work, that would be my goal.
Thank you both very, very much for everything. So procedurally, we need a motion. Yeah, it is. It'd be much better if we could do this secretly.
It would be 100%. I'll go behind the curtain. The Wizard of Oz. It's just-
Well, I just think you should just take us both and have us.
It was a lot easier this time.
A lot easier. Well,
Oh, there was one.
there was one person.
I'll still working together.
Okay, I think you both are great candidates. I'm just gonna start because it's only gonna get awkwarder. More awkward. I do think you guys are both great candidates. And I can say that my vote is just Kathy. Sorry. Katie. Sorry, I was.
Okay, so procedurally,
Oh, that's not how we do it.
you will make a motion
Oh, I have
to appoint Katie.
Sorry. I make a motion to appoint Katie.
Thank you for your bravery. I want to thank you both as well, very much. Had interactions with both of you in committee meetings, and I appreciate both of your heart for downtown Glendora. I would like to second the motion. But having said that, Lori, I'd really like you to be involved in our committee meetings, regardless of how this goes. So, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lori.
Yeah.
And thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
We can move to the next order. So from here, though, Katie, you will go, your name will be put in the minutes. It will go to city council, and city council will formally approve it. Right, and then from there, we'll email you, and then you would come to the next meeting.
Yeah, then in January, we'll do the, oath and everything. You have to do your skit.
And you have to
No, just kidding. Yeah, so, because Tuesday nights of council meeting, they just ratify, it's in the middle, you don't have to go and present anything or anything else. It's just they have to formally do it.
And so, okay, from here, we're gonna go through a bunch of old business, we're gonna go through our committee reports. You are welcome to stay, you are also welcome to go, whatever you want to do is fine. And then just a reminder that our committee meetings, events, social media, beautification, finance, are all listed on our website, and you may already been to a few of them. Please come. Or please come. Okay. All right, moving on to, holiday stroll recap. So just so we know, we've got new business, holiday stroll recap. We're rescheduling the January meeting date, and then we have old business committee meetings, and then we'll go and we'll try to get this done by 10. Okay, good. All right, holiday stroll recap, Josina.
Just a quick, I mean, a lot of it's been talked about.
At least it's
No,
not
it's
the
the
funny
good
face
picture.
one.
It's the
Yeah,
good
it
picture.
does not- Whose idea was that?
That was my idea. And it's
The
awesome.
only one that's not making a really funny face.
That was the good. All the pictures that were taken that night are on the village website and the galleries and stuff that have been shared on social media. We did a survey, which a couple of questions were, a lot of this has already been talked about, so we can kind of go to, but just to kind of overview, this is what was in the packet. We asked the standard questions at the beginning over, impact on your business. Now, out of the 17 starts, we have 10 full, survey submissions. But it went out to every bid member that we have emails for, which is, it's all. Overall, it's positive to very positive. Second, foot traffic, 3 is much higher, 4 higher, and three people said the same. How do you feel the event is well organized, adequately promoted? It was kind of mixed between, strong agree and up, and then neutral, and there was 1 disagree. And then activities, features, I think they're most effective to attract visitors to your business, or entertainment, music. Festive atmosphere was the biggest response to that, and then special activities, and then other that are in the comments coming up next. And then some of this again has already been talked about, but more, what suggestions for improving food, entertainment, vendors, as we already know. And then the second one there, a longer description, kind of spreading things out more on the south, north, which that's what you recall, we tried to make, expand the stroll, which we can work on that for next year. There's going to be just cost to that. There's going to be a lot of things. So, which that would open it up to more vendors and food trucks and food truck rally, like a whole bunch of stuff. And then again, food trucks. Cleanup was an issue. One thing we totally forgot was adding more trash boxes. So I was out there cleaning up trash.
Not to interrupt Mr. Josina, and not that he's looking for the kudos, but at the end of the evening, he literally was out there by hand with the truck, picking up trash and putting it away, making sure everything was perfect. We need to make sure from a budgetary perspective, the line item is in there and it's booked, because Joe should not be picking up trash.
It was just,
And then we were picking up trash the next morning.
Yeah, the next morning I saw Frank Arturo was out there picking up trash. So was the owner of the building, Classic Coffee Building, was out there picking up trash.
yeah, it's,
Like 4 poinsettias.
well, those get destroyed. And people walk over.
Mine were
poinsettias.
absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, yours are
all of
gone.
Yeah.
I think someone took them.
I had to replant them.
It could be something, as I know, it's like when we do the car show, it's easier because it's at 2 a.m. and we're doing this. So we have street sweepers and blowers and all this kind of stuff. That's more difficult with this because it's only 9 o'clock and everything is open still. So, but that'll be one thing, it'll be, fixed where, because we can get trash boxes. I had some, that's why I was bringing them out when I could see the sidewalks, because I couldn't even see them, like, oh, this year. And this year, everyone was passing out cups with chocolate caramel, so that made.
That was
a big
Hilltop.
mess.
Those were the s'mores. They had
Yeah,
chocolate
the
fountains.
Yeah, so it was,
Yeah,
I mean, it was good,
it was
but
good.
it just added to the trash, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll be fixed later on. Would love to shut down food trucks, food, more food. So, those were some of those comments. And then anything else, was already mentioned earlier, but that was the comment there about, bigger, is bigger, better, what to do with that, how to control it and that kind of stuff, so. But I mean, the general public things I've heard, it's just a fantastic, it's getting crowded.
Yeah.
So it's just, and then what to do with the littles, what to do, that kind of stuff, so. Yeah, that's what I like to present.
Okay.
I don't know if any other questions, discussion.
Okay.
I'll move to approve or receive a file report.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, next, rescheduling the January 2026 meeting date. And we believe that we need to have this meeting because of budgetary concerns, there's other things that need to be talked about. So we want to just move it 1 week back, so it will be January 8th instead of January 1st. Normal time, normal everything else.
And I did check with the city and this is available.
Okay.
I'll move to reschedule the January meeting to January 8th at 8:30 a.m. in Bidwell 4.
Second.
All there?
Aye.
Aye. Awesome. Okay, moving on to old business. Committee report, event and marketing. And yeah, this is gonna be Crystal and Kathy.
Can I go first, Kathy?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
The last meeting that we had really focused on ironing out the details of the holiday stroll, in particular how the vendor market would play out toward the end of everything. It was agreed that it would be bid only for this particular event to protect the integrity and branding of the village and the merchants that were represented, especially since we didn't have any further committed or guaranteed stalls with a formalized vetting process. So what I'm understanding, the further I get into this, is there are a lot of procedural pieces that are missing from our discussion basis. How do you vet a vendor with objectivity? How do you align a vendor with a brand standard for the village, with the merchants in the village? And how do you make those decisions in a minute's notice if needed, but also at arm's length if needed as well. So that was more the point of contention in the merchants represented in the meeting. It was very last minute, and they didn't want it to be a scramble to fill spots and try to get revenue from an orthodontist, a dental space, et cetera, without it potentially devaluing the appearance of their business, which is a valid concern. So in moving forward and for planning in the future, we just really need to get ahead of the events by many months. Like for me, I'm even feeling like we're late on the wine walk right now, though it's understanding that that's more of a well-oiled machine year in and year out. There are certain people like Nat from Village Fitness that I think was more integral to the marketing of that particular event. And so just trying to fill some of the missing pieces. But Joe and Kathy and also Megan received a laundry list of questions leading up to our next event and committee meeting, where procedurally we really need to define, much as Katie pointed out about something like the holiday stroll, what is the intent of the event? What are the goals, and how do we map that in a way that is strategic, measurable, time-based, so that we know what we're working toward. So that's the next core focus, is really the wine walk and making sure that that is marketed appropriately via all channels, social media, how to use our email database, how do we attract additional people with event listings, how do we increase SEO year over year, to really get the marketing behind this particular event, and instead of just assuming that people understand the tradition, will buy the ticket and will attend.
What is the date schedule for the wine walk?
Mhm.
What?
Yeah, those are all
I don't even know if I have that on my calendar yet.
for the 20, sorry. So, yeah, it's on the bid website.
Okay.
No, never mind.
Do we need to approve that? No.
What the,
All these are
oh no, the calendar for the whole year is
Oh,
already
no,
approved.
no, not the calendar,
Oh.
the
These are
report.
just reports, yeah.
Okay.
And then I guess the one other thing that came up, so in this style of discussion, we have our bid board membership that's aligned against, this is how an event and its programming is going to go. But then we separately have the committee level, here are the business representatives that are, maybe have a point of contention about what we are all doing. Our next point of alignment is not for another 3.5 weeks.
Right.
A lot can develop in between there where we can't communicate with each other due to Brown Act, but we still need to find a way to be able to communicate any developments and make a decision together. Say, for example, we wanted outside vendors to craft a holiday market, but instead it became bid only, no one else was notified about that. I'm stuck, and the reason why, like, I've never met Katie before, it's wonderful to meet you, and I'm so glad to hear your perspective. I very much encourage Lori to apply for this position as well, and she's so vocal and has wonderful ideas for us. But what really stood out to me was your focus on procedure and policy and how to do it through the tools of governance, and that's something that I'm really invested in my role right now. So just, if it's something to marinate on and think about, but just one thing that I want to address among all of us is we have alignment and buy-in at the board level meeting, but as we spin off into committees, the plans start to deviate, and it's hard to get that under control. So just, I don't know what I'm asking for, a specific question, but just like trying to communicate, how do we all stay aligned and on the same page, even though we have to take different paths?
So going back and replaying kind of what happened. What we're missing is, we're just missing the procedure. Are we missing sort of like, okay, the board has decided that we're going to do a holiday market, and the board has approved that these are the standards for vendors. And we have 12, 15 vendors that meet these standards. And those have been approved by the board. We have that all in writing. We get to the committee meeting before the week before the event, and we have business members who come to that event and are vocally opposed to what we're doing. Is the thing that we lack just the procedure to be able to say, you know, thank you for your opinion, but this has been discussed in committee, it's been approved by the board, and it's been approved by these standards. So thank you for your opinion, but this is what we're doing. Or is there something else that we need to protect ourselves procedurally?
I feel like we probably need to, and this is my opinion on it, but from a governance perspective, decide what the committee is actually intended to do. Is it an open forum for discussion with business owners where that information then gets elevated to the board? Or are decisions actually being made then and there? And I have my own opinion on that because we are collectively making decisions as the board. So to deviate from the board plan doesn't seem wise if there are a couple of vocal opponents. However, we do need to address the constituency and understand the concerns. It might also be, for this particular committee, events and marketing, because so much time elapses between board and that committee meeting, I'm not sure if the positioning in the calendar is appropriate as well. Just because there are so many things that can develop super quickly.
Well, our events meeting is the week after the board meeting.
But then you still have another couple of weeks before the next board meeting, right? So,
And in a lot of cases, you have an event that
Right.
happens right in the middle of that as well. So like, you know, I don't know whether we're gonna get away from the idea that you had a committee meeting the week or days before the actual event occurred. But I think that, and if we need to formalize this in some way, we can, but it was always the understanding that these committees funnel into the board meeting. So we're going through the things that we've discussed in these committee meetings, and we're going to approve them. So for instance, you know, the logo where we'll show in a few minutes is like that's, you know, or all of the work that we've been doing with beautification. the idea is not that we're gonna, sort of have that committee meeting, make those decisions there and like go forward with them. We're gonna bring them here, vote on them, and then put them forward, but maybe we just
I think
need a
Crystal
little
brought that
bit.
up because we discussed vendors at our events meeting, which was after the board meeting last month. And then that's when everything changed for the marketplace. But the event happened after that meeting, but it didn't come back to the board for like a discussion on what we're
Agreed.
gonna be doing.
My personal opinion about this is that we discussed having a market. We discussed the kind of vendors that were going to be there. We had already talked about the issue with the dentist and the orthodontist and had made a decision to move them to other places. And so if there was some other issue, like we didn't have enough vendors.
There was no vendors outside, or was there any?
There was a list of
There was a
vendors.
list.
Yeah.
There was vendors
We did, yeah.
Yeah,
of the
of
outside.
outside businesses that we want.
When we talked about
Holiday
it, there wasn't, we didn't hear any names, or you guys didn't discuss names.
Megan wasn't in the room, but she had the exact list of about 18 different vendors that wanted to participate.
So
So
we had
think just
18,
need
we had
to-
18 vendors that were signed up for this. And.
For free?
No,
No, they were
they were
paying
being
us.
charged
That's what I think.
to bring
I
in
think
income
kind
to
of
bid.
to Becca, I think what we need to do is have like this one-page policy that for any event where we bring in outside, up to a certain point, we give village businesses kind of first right of refusal at no cost, or whatever you decide, to have something there. Then after that, we allow outside businesses at a fee of, make it huge, I don't know, whatever you want to make it, $200, $300,
Yeah, yeah.
$400, whatever. And then we just live by that.
Yeah, we just
And then
need
it's
to write
just-
out.
I would make
Yeah,
it
because when we
easy.
were at that meeting, there was no list or names of the committee for the street fair.
Yeah, that's what we were just finalizing the cost to them. 'Cause that's what we were collecting names, but then it worked out fine the way it ended up, but I mean, it just, yeah.
But
So,
at
I
the
think if
same
we had
time,
that
it's also,
one-page policy,
it's also months worth of work that people on the board have done to set that up for the very last moment, for a couple of people to show up and make a big stink about it, and for it to then all of that work to.
Well, to be
go through.
honest, it was only a month that we got the information. It wasn't a couple of months, it was only 1 month prior to the event. So it was sprung on all of us, so we were all kind of, even Megan was like, it was like a last minute thing that she felt. Speaking of Megan. I think we just need to set procedures, so
Yeah,
that we know
so
what we're doing.
procedure,
When we
which
go
we
into
talked
meeting,
about.
we have something to look at saying, like, this is what we're doing, and we need to keep a list of vendors that we can call last minute if we need to do that.
So let's, and this is gonna be applicable for the wine walk, because we're gonna have the same thing happen with the wine walk if we're not careful. So we have a meeting on January, we have a meeting in February, and then we have a bid board meeting in March before that event. And there will also technically be 3 event meetings as well. So we can make the motion now, move to establish a formal procedure for outside vendors, and have it set guidelines for the vendor standards, have first right of refusal go to bid businesses, give them a month. And then, so January, that's gonna go out to the bid businesses and say, we're going to have vendors at the wine walk. If you would like to apply, then you have until February 1st. And then from February 1st on, so second month, it goes out to the outside vendors. And then once that list gets finalized in the 3rd month, then there's no changes that can be made to it. And that goes for any outside vendor and any outside food vendor as well, because we'll likely have both at the one. So,
Then we just live by it.
all right, so if we could encapsulate that into a motion, that would be the motion. Do we have a second? Okay, yeah. All in favor?
Do we need a set a fee for what we're gonna charge outside vendors now, or is that gonna be a different?
I think we should discuss that in committees, because we need to come up with these procedures in the committees.
Yeah.
And then we bring that to the board and then we'll approve all that stuff.
So, yeah, so next event committee meeting will be setting the costs for the outside vendors. And even figuring out what the cost is of the structure for, like, what money are we gonna lose on that if it's only the businesses, if only, but.
Do we have a plan, or do you guys have a plan on talking about the street market, the street fair, or is there an agenda for that yet?
Farmers market.
Yeah.
Let's
Maybe not.
That's a whole other.
There's a whole other.
We have it, it's just cost.
Yeah.
It's
The
just
only
cost.
issue with that is cost.
And it costs them
The
the
last time it
location.
was $60,000 a season to do it. And that's the problem with that.
In us as banks don't have that money,
Yeah.
so
Right.
But
that's why charging outside vendors would bring in more income
Yeah.
to the bid, so.
I do agree with that, bringing more business. to
Oh, yeah,
us
I was
at
just-
the same time, so that's something on the agenda. And I have one more question for you guys, just really fast, just because you're on that topic. Who canceled the Santa last year? And was that like a unanimous type of decision, or was there a reason?
No, it wasn't
Let's-
unanimous.
Yeah,
No, that's a whole nother can.
well, I just want to know the procedures for, in the future, so that,
So the
They
procedure,
did vote on
last year,
Like this?
it came down to budget. And it came down to a couple of other things. And there was a group of people, and it extended all the way back to Halloween walk. There's a group of people that said, we don't want to spend money on these particular things, whether it's closing the street for the Halloween walk, or giving out candy, or having Santa, or whatever it is. And then there was another group of people that said, no, we should continue having these things. And it was a discussion back and forth, and so, okay, let's keep going.
it was,
Social media committee updates, that's gonna be, I'll just say really quickly, we put the RFP out.
it was gonna go out and start collecting those.
And yeah, so that's what we've got there. Any questions about that?
Do we have a list of vendors that we solicit, or is it just open solicitation?
It is open to anyone. And this is, again, an opportunity. We've had a lot of people come to us and say, hey, I have someone that does social media. I have someone that does social media, and they could do a better job than we're doing right now. And this is an opportunity for all of those people to submit bids so that we can see all of that, because we would actually really like to. The other thing that came out of that meeting was that the two things that really are the points that we want to cover are our actual creative photography, video in the village, lifestyle, and having that on a rolling basis, which is something that I don't feel like we have currently. And the other is sort of events and also letting everyone know, having a calendar of what the posts are going to be, so that we're able to see all of that, and we can continue as we get the business.
And then where is the RFP noticed? Is it online, email?
It's going to be an email, website, which that'll be probably this afternoon.
Okay.
But we could also use everybody's help to get that out to the channels of people that have said, that they know people that do social.
I was just gonna ask about protocol too, like, are there a certain number of bids that we need to move forward? If, say, for example, we only get one bid, what happens? Two bids, what happens? You solicit.
There isn't a specific quantity, but I would think if you only got one, you would put it back out.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to beautification. So set up when the meeting will start and confirm the time.
Oh, sorry. That was last. Disregard, or the,
Okay.
I'm like, that's not on my.
sorry, no, that, here, I just forgot.
Okay. And so in the last month, we've done a walk around the village. We've noted everything that we would want to have fixed and updated. And Chantel's been fantastic in working with Public Works on all of that. Yeah, so we've sort of identified certain things that we know that we can do now, which are the junction boxes, the flower.
And, the new year, that's when we're gonna bring that report.
Right.
Yes.
But we're making a list. So if you see anything around the village that you think needs improvement, let us know.
We already have an extensive list. But we would love-
Hey, we might have missed something.
One of the things that we've been talking about though is that there are a lot of businesses that have their own flower arrangements. And so like figuring out what is the balance between standardizing everything and then asking businesses to remove stuff that's been there for 15 years. Versus, okay, like it doesn't look horrible, like can we not upset everyone? And you know, so what that balance is. There's also, we've been talking about all the signage, people's banners over their buildings, A-frames, the wrought iron signs, and how we can sort of create something that will be standardized for.
Speaking of which, I don't know if you noticed, but I talked to the jeweler and he took down the sign, so. We are no longer open, no.
Yeah, so we will continue to talk about that. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything actionable at the moment. But we'll continue to talk about that. That will be something in the next couple of meetings about the balance of like, okay, we want to standardize everything, but it's going to upset a bunch of people versus letting some things go.
And also reinforcement.
And
Or
reinforcement.
enforcement.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing from beautification, I did a little bit more work on logos and signage, and I just wanted to bring this back up again. So I've formalized this kind of lockup, and wanted to see if this works for everybody. And I think page 3 has maybe the usage in the in some of the less exciting places, but that's what it would look like. And then the banners, I don't have this fully worked out yet, but basically if you look at the one on the left, this is sort of the idea of like what the 3 of them would be all the time. The colors would change and the artwork would change. And I'd actually really like to know if there's anybody that has anyone who does kind of more artistic illustration that could help develop kind of the backgrounds for these. You know, we pull in stock and that kind of thing, but it's a lot of work. But there is an opportunity potentially to have these be a little bit more artistic and done kind of within the community than just kind of pulling stock illustration into it. So we don't have to do anything with this or approve this now, but we'll talk about this in the next meeting and try to solicit some help with these. Any feedback on kind of the messaging?
I like the font. I like the font a lot.
Which font?
In all 3 of these, on this side, the fonts work together. So even if like, let's just say you decided that you wanted all 3 of these fonts to be part of your like pulled from set, I think that they're like close enough together that they're cohesive, that it doesn't seem like they're just so random. It doesn't feel random. It feels intentional.
Cool. Okay, Joe, will you go back to the logo? And then what is I was actually wondering, a century of service, that's in the current logo, I added that to this. Is that something meaningful?
I don't recall. It's not like the official, motto.
I don't know. I kind of like our logo already.
Is that for your, what is that? Where is this going? Just on your everything?
Yeah, I mean, everything, there's not a lot that our logo goes on.
Is it on your social media platform too? Like, is that
It
gonna be
could,
your?
it could potentially be. I think the idea here was to create a unified sort of look and feel and typeface. It started with the banners, because the banners are, you know, not as good as they could be. And they're just sort of done by the sign company. And so then it was like, okay, but we need a font, we need to define kind of a style, we need to, so.
We're trying to set branding standards, so. That's what we're going for.
So we can talk a little bit more about the tagline and whether we want to keep that.
I think I'm struggling to give feedback because I don't have a point of reference for the application. So
Yeah.
like I'm seeing the newness, but honestly, I can't recall from my head. what
There
it's
is-
been used
there is
for
no
banners.
application.
This is our logo.
I know what our logo is, which I think is cool, and it's still that nod to craftsmen and.
I know, that's why.
All those pieces, so, like, it's cool artwork, but I'm just struggling with where it goes and gets applied. And I understand, like, especially from a design perspective, it's social media forward, it's iconography that can go in Instagram, Facebook, you know. But as far as like stylistic application to other products that are going to be displayed on the avenue, I'm just having trouble understanding.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah, I could do a little bit more with that and just come up with a couple of other usages for it.
And honestly, there's just a particular sensitivity because I know that there was very vocal social media backlash to the city of Glendora rebranding. And so it's one of those things though, right? Like unfortunately, you're exposed to different communities on social media that may or may not like this. And we have to do what's in the best interest of our community, but it's one of those things where it's like, do you invite the conversation to even happen if you already have a functional logo that people understand and haven't commented on, you know?
We can't use the city, for better or for worse.
Not the
We
city
cannot use the
branding,
city
but I'm just saying, like, we have our Glendora Village logo that people more or less accepted, and
Which
I don't think
is
But
actually,
again, I don't think it's anywhere, it's not seen.
It's on our website.
well, this logo's on everything.
Yeah.
The planters have the original version of this that was colored. Like some of the planters, it's on them. So there's two versions of this one currently. So yeah, so it's, but this is the ones used on our marketing now. You know, the one that's on the. Yeah, but-
How long do
but
we have
anyway,
this one, do you know?
This version of it, I think probably 5 or 6 years.
That's it?
And but the colored one was original, since 2009. But this one, actually, well, maybe this was more 7 first, because it was,
So this isn't colored, I mean,
no, it's just green and black.
Okay.
Green leaves and black, but the original one, it's on the pots.
yeah,
You know, it has colored font and trees and background and everything. If someone simplified it at some point. I was at the meeting, but I couldn't tell you exactly what it was. Well,
I couldn't either, because.
I don't think you were on the board yet. It was before you were on the board.
Okay, so we'll bring this back. Next one,
Budget committee.
excellent. Okay, any board staff closing comments?
just a budget update super
Budget.
quickly. We
Oh,
did-
budget.
Yeah, we did meet on budget.
It's not-
Oh, yeah, got it.
We all had a discussion about just line by line, the individual budget items that are included. It's really important to understand also the last few years have been budgeted to a deficit where the budget has just kind of rolled over as is. So Callan and I are invested in actually taking a look at the independent line items and putting forth in our next budget committee meeting, a working idea of a budget. The piece that is missing, I've kind of compared so far the last 5 years, just understanding the trajectory, especially because COVID interrupted events and in-person things that were happening here. It's an opportunity to take the best understandings, but because we really shouldn't be budgeting to a deficit, also shaping the budget to help guide the events and activations and things that we actually want to do in a given year. So if we do want to put more towards beautification, having the budget available for beautification. If we do, I mean, we're going out to solicit an RFP and we have to understand what the new cost is going to be. So, putting the working version forward at the next meeting, but then of course finalizing on schedule so that we have it available for the city. That should be coming as soon as we schedule our budget meeting for next week.
Yeah, I don't know if this was discussed in your budget meeting, but the thing with the budget and operating on deficit is that we're not even collecting 100% of our fees. So I don't know how that plays into showing that, you know, they're always in a deficit.
With the fees, current report, there's only like 1 or 2 in arrears.
Really?
It's just you don't collect much fees. That's the issue. Not much fees.
No, I'm talking about like the bid membership fees.
Yeah. It's just there's not much. Just the way the bid is set up.
I thought there was like 20% of people that don't pay or don't pay on time.
Not
or
currently.
don't. Okay.
There's been times, especially during COVID, so it's improved. You know,
There was a lot, we had a lot of discussion about it,
Yeah.
like a year ago, because in those reports, it's always like rolling.
Yeah.
And so it seems like half the people haven't paid.
just because of thorough.
But it's good to know that there's actually.
Yeah, that's gotten better. Yeah, a while ago it was 20%, 25, but now it's, last time I looked, there's only a couple. You know,
It's because of the incredible job that we're doing.
it's just when you look at the overall, not much is collected. That's actually billed.
The one thing that would be advantageous, and especially inviting new appointed membership to the board, and it's probably the motion I need to make, but just setting up a special workshop session that all of us can attend so that we can articulate and define our goals and the programming that we truly want to see for this particular fiscal year that we're budgeting for, just so we have a set of standards that we're maintaining and we know where to align the budget based on the priorities. Year in and year out, we have things like wine walk, holiday stroll. The holiday stroll budget can be broken up, like holiday stroll versus Santon Village, it's all together right now. Just trying to understand as a big board where we want to see the budget going. Again, making sure that we're not budgeting to a deficit in this instance, but then also shaping what we are going to be encountering policy or procedurally, but also in alignment on what we're trying to do. If we're trying to encourage and invite more traffic, and we need the budget to be able to close the street to expand the holiday stroll, for example, we need to know that now. Ideally.
If you want your January meeting, you could focus on budget.
Okay. Even better.
Just build the agenda where that's the.
And then
Unless you
at
want
that
another
point,
meeting.
we'll have some form of a working budget that Callan and I have put together just for consideration, trying to balance everything, and then we can figure out where to go from there.
Sounds good.
Final thoughts?
Thank you, Lori and Katie, for coming in. We appreciate your interest in being a part of this, and it's not always easy, and it's a thankless job, but somebody's got to do it. Thank you for volunteering.
Okay. We will adjourn the meeting at 10:04.